This is the federal budget. Remember the federal budget, the one we were asking the Liberals to table in the spring because it's been so long since Canada had one? Well, we finally have it. We have a pretty good sense now of what the government's prioritizing. And remember, this is the Liberal government that has been telling us it is a new government. Gone are the days of Justin Trudeau, gone is the Liberal record, gone is Liberal spending. It's a new government. That's been the claim. But how new is it? Well, Justin Trudeau set a pretty low bar for performance on fiscal issues. He spent more than any prime minister in Canadian history did. And you know what? Mark Carney said he was going to be different. Well, what do we have in that budget, that 406-page federal budget? A deficit of $78 billion. Now, this is important for a couple of reasons, but one of them is the fact that Mark Carney promised it would be a $62 billion deficit. He promised he was going to be fiscally responsible because deficits require government to take out debt. They require governments to spend money that they don't have. And this comes at a cost. In order to make this work, the Liberal government is spending $90 billion in new spending. Now that's an extra $5,400 for every Canadian household. Over the next 5 years, this is an additional $321 billion in new debt. Now, just to put that in perspective, that is double the debt that Justin Trudeau was going to be incurring. So what does this mean for Canadians? What does it mean for taxpayers? What does it mean for your family? Well, for starters, it means we're spending more and more on debt interest. In fact, this year alone, Canada is going to be spending $55 billion just in interest. Now, just think of that for a second. That's money we're not spending on anything. That's money we're spending to enrich bankers. $55 billion this year. That's actually, believe it or not, more than Canada gives the provinces to fund healthcare. That's more than Canada collects in GST revenue. And that's just on debt. Now, these are really abstract numbers. I realize that. Canadian families don't think of spending in terms of billions of dollars. We're not Mark Carney, we're not Brookfield. We don't think in millions. We probably don't even think in thousands. So many Canadians right now are literally living paycheck to paycheck. They don't know how they're going to afford to heat their home, to make their car payment, to fill up the gas tank on their car, and sometimes to buy groceries. That's why this is such a big deal. Canadians needed an affordable budget. So we have a government now that says this is going to be generational. They call it investment, but really it's spending. It's generational debt. It's money that you, your children, and your grandchildren are saddled with on the debt side of things because the government's spending money it doesn't have right now. So to go back to that deficit here, I want to point out that this is not an abstract issue. When the government racks up a $78 billion deficit, that is money that can only come from one place. They can either increase taxes or they can increase debt. But debt and deficits have been what have been driving up inflation, which has been rampant for the last 10 years. And you don't need experts, you don't need people in suits, you don't need people like me in Ottawa to tell you that. You know inflation is bad because you see it at the grocery store. You see it at the fuel pumps. You see it when you want to go and buy anything. As a Conservative caucus, we have been putting forward concrete solutions. We have been telling the government very candidly what it can do. Now, you may have seen they've taken a couple of our ideas. We think they need to go further, take more of our ideas. They took our idea to scrap the consumer carbon tax, but they're doubling down on the industrial carbon tax. The industrial carbon tax, which drives up the cost of pretty much everything. Taxes and regulations on plastics and packaging, which are making it more expensive for producers to make food products that get to your grocery store shelves, and then more expensive for you to buy these things. So all of this is so simple. The government could have made affordability its first priority in this budget, but they didn't. Instead, they have more debt and deficits, more inflation, more policies that are going to let bankers get rich while you pay the price. Will ordinary Canadians pay the price? I said earlier that new spending was accounting for $5,400 per Canadian household. $5,400. Could you afford that? Could you afford to add $5,400 to your household expenditures? I didn't think so. So why does the government think it should be able to do that on your behalf? We cannot support this budget. We will not support this budget. We're fighting for you. We're fighting for affordability.